Not too long ago, Dunkin' Donuts changed its name to just Dunkin'. And why is this? Well, in today's video, I'm going to explain to you Dunkin's new way of inserting itself into the coffee business. The history of Dunkin' Donuts is pretty simple. Dunkin' Donuts opened in 1948 under the leadership of Bill Rosenberg. Dunkin' Donuts had a steady rise over the years, eventually going public in the year 2011, amounting almost $500 million in shares. Many analysts criticized Dunkin' and concluded that its stock was grossly overpriced due to hype around the company. Yet, Dunkin' ignored all these remarks and still chose to expand their business westward. So why is it that Dunkin' decided to change its name so late into the competition? Dunkin' noticed a drop in sales when its competitor, Starbucks, was introduced to the market. So when David Hoffman took over as CEO of Dunkin' Donuts, he believed that espresso was the key to drive the company to success, which is why the company invested over $100 million into its new espresso lineup. So, will this investment pay off in the future, or will it drive Dunkin' to its bankruptcy? A report that came out in 2017 showed that 60% of Dunkin's overall sales came from its beverages, which is the main reason that Dunkin' went from offering over 30 different kinds of donuts to only under 20. So what does this change mean for the company moving forward? As of 2019, Dunkin' has reported that it has served over 1.7 billion cups of coffee to the public. Nowhere near Starbucks' 4 billion cups a year, but it is nothing to dismiss as Dunkin' tries to narrow the gap. When you walk into a Dunkin's newer store, you can find drinks like pumpkin lattes, cooladas, and even premium espresso. And let's not forget about the nitro cool brew some stores have on tap. These additions to the menu came after a 2019 revenue report when Dunkin' reported to only have made around $606 million of revenue compared to Starbucks' $16 billion. So why is it that a company like Dunkin' Donuts, who pioneered the franchising of coffee shops in America and who also has a head start over the other competition, is now at a disadvantage in the market? Well, let's break down Dunkin' Donuts' business model together. Coffee and donuts are usually seen as a quick morning snack and not really a full breakfast. So it makes sense that the rush hour for Dunkin' is typically around the morning when everyone is going to work. A quick Google search of the downtown LA area, where presumably you would have the most foot traffic, shows that a Dunkin' Donuts that opens up at 5 a.m. and closes at 8 p.m. is the busiest around 7 to 9 a.m. Comparing that to a Starbucks with the same hours and around the same general location, you can clearly see that their foot traffic starts at 6 a.m. and is steady all the way until 3 p.m. So why is it that Starbucks has a greater customer activity after the morning rush? Well, it's all due to the term coffee break. The term was popularized in 1952, where it was officially coined by Pan America Coffee Brew when it launched an ad campaign telling customers to have a coffee break. And a little over a decade later, the coffee break was finally entered to national discourse. And this is what Starbucks does so well, because for the average consumer, Starbucks isn't just a place to drink coffee. It is also a place to take a break, do some work, or hang out with friends. And if we quickly look at Starbucks' menu, we can see that Starbucks offers enjoyable quick snacks to people that have breaks of 30 minutes or less. In my personal opinion, this is what separates Starbucks from your general coffee shop, and the main reason Starbucks has stayed at the top of the market. Dunkin' has become aware of the lack of afternoon business, which is why you can often find deals or specials being promoted from 2 to 6 p.m. And as far as that company has reported, sales are slowly stabilizing. The company has also partnered up with Baskin-Robbins in order to attract more people to their establishments. And although Dunkin' reports that their dual stores performs much better than their standalone stores, when we look at Baskin-Robbins' annual sales, for the last decade, Baskin-Robbins has reported negative sales. Dunkin' is also betting on the delivery system like DoorDash or Uber Eats to push its sales, and plans to ride this wave of new customers by opening 250 new stores for the next 3 years to come, calling this the next generation. Dunkin' is expecting its employees to function more like bartenders in these new gen stores and putting more emphasis on mobile orders by adding a designated pickup area inside the stores and also adding an extra lane for cars. Even though Dunkin has been boasting about its sales it would generate, I believe sales won't improve as much as they hope they will. And let me explain why. From my experience, big executives and franchise owners really don't care about their employees. All they care about is those sales. When watching documentaries or interviews done by these big corporations, it is usually the executives speaking on the behalf of the employees, always telling the public that it is great to work for their stores. But anyone that has worked at a minimum wage fast food restaurant knows that it is anything but that. And I believe this is one of the biggest reasons old generation franchises are getting left behind. And if you take a good look at Dunkin's recent history, it seems like things aren't going too well. A report by CNBC shows that Dunkin's revenue has dropped over 20% due to the coronavirus. And by mid-year 2020, Dunkin has closed over 229 stores. The company expects to close around 800 locations, including 450 Speedway locations, which was previously announced to be 8% of Dunkin's total US footprint. Will the company recover? Well, only time will tell. As of 2021, there hasn't been any more announcements about the remodelation of stores. So I guess we will just have to wait and see what Dunkin does next. So that's gonna be all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something new today. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, as it would help out the channel. So I'll see you guys next week.
Everyone wants my Dunkachino.